Yeah. Brakatah Yahweh. Brakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And basically continuing the lesson I was already doing. So this is going to be a part 2 to thou shalt not use usury, right? But to give you an understanding that those Nigerians are Israelites, right? And this thing says a reiterating, and that's a perfect name for it, because that's ultimately what we're doing. We're reiterating that you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are Israelites, right? And you so-called black are the one most disenfranchised with this whole Africa thing, and then not having a place where you come from. Well, guess what? One of the biggest places they pulled slaves off from to bring to this America as your punishment, as the Most High said you will go into slavery with ships and be sold to your enemy, is Nigeria. So let's look at what these Nigerians who are reiterating the Jews of Nigeria, right? That's where you came from.
From deep inside Africa, a sound is emanating that is causing reverberations around the world. It's the sound of Judaism.
Say shalom, or shalom. It said say shalom. Not how the so-called white people say it when they say shalom, which you could say shalom, but they were saying shalom, which goes into, more closer to where what we say is shalom, right?
A sound of a people casting off 2 centuries of colonialism, returning to what they say are their native roots.
I know from birth I'm a Jew. Only I know that my forefather missed the way.
I grew up alongside every other Igbo youth. We kept on hearing that Igbo people came from Israel.
There was a story my mom told me at the age of 6 years. I never forget. He said, the Igbos are Jews.
And it's a story of one man, Shemuel, who went searching for what that meant and found answers on the internet, prompting a journey that led him to a community of thousands of Jews. A place where resources are few, but commitment transcends. Through prayer, practice, ritual, diet, and song.
Yeah. So that's why Apostle Har always say, well, where's the so-called Jewish person over there, the Amalek that can sing and dance. So the Lord said that his people is going to sing and dance, right? And as you can see, these people can sing and dance, man. They got salt. The Lord said that his people are what? The salt of the earth. right? So no such thing as Judaism. So, but let's get back to this thing, because what you Israelites, here in America, you don't really know where you're from. But even when you do have a place, you have a country, guess what? Corruption is still there. Yeah, and being that corruption is there, what? A lot of these leaders are just set up. They're set up because what? At one point in time, we probably had, actual righteous leaders, and who actually really cared for the people. Just like you had that president that was in Haiti, who was saying, "Nah, you're not bringing that yob over here," and all of a sudden he ended up dead, and then it was CIA agents or ex-CIA agents, but all of them operating to kill him, right? So it says, this is Daniel chapter 6, verse 1, and it pleased Darius to set over, right? Because that's ultimately what the Illuminati does. The shadow government, right? They're ruling behind the scenes, right? So they set over the kingdom, right? Because they're pretty much almost ruling the entire world, if not the entire world, right? They're you know what I mean? Certain aspects of what's going on where the Lord is causing conflict for this and that. But at the most part, all of them are serving under this this shadow government, because though so-called Russia is against America, when it come to the yob, they were pushing the yob over in Russia, right? China's supposed to be against America and all these other things, but they pushed the yob over in China, right? Because there's so much thing, they should have been saying that this was all a plight to push for the New World Order. But they're all square men, right? They're all for that agenda of the New World Order, right? But this is how you do it. You set over the kingdom 120 princes, right? So there's many different places around the world, and this is at the time when they just ruled a certain position. Because if you understand, the statue, that Daniel explained to Nebuchadnezzar, each kingdom, because you had the Babylonian Empire, which is the Babylonian and the Assyrian Empire, basically. When they ruled, right, they ruled the entire known world at that time, right? But each time a ruler came, their providence, or the land, or the mask of what they ruled, expanded. So when you got the Medo-Persians, right, which is Darius, is one of them, and Cyrus, right, their empire expanded. And as you go down that timeline that Daniel set up, each time each empire expanded. Matter of fact, let's just right, yeah, this is beautiful right here. This is pretty interesting that they did this right here, right? It's in Daniel's 2 and 31 through 45, right? So you can go read that on your own. But it gives you, the world history, or foretold, right? Which Daniel was a prophet. It's to foretell something before it happened. That's what we do as prophets, right? But you had the Babylonian Empire, Syrian Babylonian Empire, but most people know just the Babylonian Empire, right? And they ruled, right? And they ruled the known world at that period of time. Right? But as the Persian Empire, which is really supposed to be the Medo-Persian Empire came, they that empire expanded. The landmass that they ruled expanded. Then by the time the Greeks came, that landmass expanded. Then when the Romans came, that landmass expanded. Then you got the second leg of Rome, the revised Rome Empire, right, which is now, right, which they even put in it, the European Union, right, which indeed also counts America. That's with it, because America's what their military might, right? So that's beautiful that this is on here, because that's exactly where we're at. And now you're talking about each time that empire expanded, there's more countries and more providence, more people to say that you're a president or prime minister now, right? Because it's pretty much the same concept. You're just changing it up to make people think that there's some type of difference, right? Yeah. So now you're dealing with the European Union, right? Now you're dealing with the second leg of Rome ruling, and America's part of that, right? Plays a major part of that, because why? It's the face of all that, right? It's the face of it. It's not actually the big ruler, but it's the face of it, right? So then it ends up being that harlot that everybody else wanted to be like, using their so-called military might, making people afraid, because what? They'll send in people to kill your presidents, whoever, economic hitman who's not getting down with the dollar, in which this whoever, the president or prime minister of Nigeria is probably afraid that they'll kill him, so he's got to get down with the digital dollar, which that's going to be ushering that in. But let's keep going. It says, and it pleased Darius to set over with kings and 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. See, that when they're ruling the whole world, that's why they're telling you that there's over 100 and something countries that's down with this digital currency. There's over 100 something countries that's down with pushing the CV19, right? So it's not really many places you can go where they're not pushing the New World Order's agenda. So they're sitting up over these things, presidents or people who they want to follow their agenda, right? And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give an account to them, and the king should have no damage, right? So just like the Illuminati, they're ruling. You never know who they are. You'll never see their face. You don't even know their last names, right? You know the names that they want you to know. Know the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, right? You can know those names, but you'll never really know who they are, or you'll never really know the actual name of the person or the persons that's actually ruling, man. But they're doing it by means of having these other kings, puppets. That's why you got instead of weekend at Bernie's, it's the weekends at Biden. You see them falling all over the place, right? So I'm gonna skip down to 6, cause then they have these summits, right? They have all these different summits, secret meetings, and all these different things. So this is basically the same thing to let you know that this thing has always happened, because you're in the dark and you don't know things, right? Then these presidents, Lakia, and princes assembled together to the king. So whoever the actual king is, the one who's ruling over the whole world, they all have to assemble to this man, right? But now the Lord is causing a rift, because this last summit, G7 summit, with all the governments that's supposed to come together, Russia didn't go, China didn't go, and normally you're supposed to go to pay homage to the king. So the Lord is finna cause a rift in the earth to bring about His purpose, man. Right? So it says, assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. And that's ultimately what they're doing, man. They're hoping that their enterprise go on forever. So if they got to step on you so-called black people, right? Whether you're Jews or not, right? They have to set up leaderships.
You are calling for a subsidy. What are you talking about? Between 2016 and 2022, the Buhari regime granted duty waivers to the tune of 16 trillion naira. You can Google. You can find the 16 trillion naira of people brought goods to the country without paying import duty, to the detriment of the economy. In December 19, 2018, the then Director of Budget, Mr. Bernard Kabwezi, addressed CEOs of government enterprises and told them, you guys have refused to remit 10 trillion naira to the Federation account. I can go on and on and on. We have just filed a case against the Emefiele Central Bank, where the guy sold a bank for 50 billion naira. Avon revitalized that bank with the sum of 1.3 trillion naira. So, 380 people in this country, according to AMCON, are owing 5.4 trillion naira because the banks were going to collapse in 2008. The central bank gave trillions to the bank. Now, those who took toxic loans were threatening the economy, and that was how AMCON was set up. Asset Manager Corporation of Nigeria. To buy off their debts. What type of subsidy is greater than that? So, I can go on and on and on. So, in the interest of the country, let us look at the economy. I'm looking at the implication of the threat of the NLC. Let me tell you. Is it not too early in the life of this government? You see, again, I've said it. Government has begun discussions in Nigeria Labour. perhaps should have preceded the announcement. But it's a new government. And I expect, as a new government, to take advantage of the opportunities that exist. I tell you one, Shem, there's a group of countries now fighting the dominance of the dollars in the economy. The dollar in the economy. We call those countries BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Nigeria is missing. And they are currently trading among themselves in their own local currencies. Shimbo. And I have suggested this publicly. Kenya was spending $500 million per month to import petroleum products. The leadership of Kenya met the leadership of Saudi Arabia. We are unable to mobilize dollars. Can we have an arrangement? So, Saudi Arabia agreed, we shall be supplying you petroleum products. But you pay us in shillings. China 5 years ago entered into a currency swap agreement with Nigeria. All Nigerians who are buying goods in China pay naira. For our own business here, pay yuan. The IMF and World Bank did not allow that arrangement. So for me, this government has an opportunity to look at the economy holistically. Look at what is going on with the demand, the struggle for a new international economic order, and fit in. On a final note, Mr. Falano, so the question, the bigger picture we're looking at here is there is already Nigerians who are hurt and pained in the manner in which this policy has come and affected their lives because of the price hike in the price of petrol has affected transportation and immediate effect on the price of commodities, food and rents. Yeah. Now, you're looking at the situation where NLC is planning a nationwide strike and protest. That will also have effect on the economy. For sure. I mean, and that's why the government was avoiding. But if the government is already meeting the NLC, so the question is that one will wonder if there is other softer ways in addressing it. On a final note, Mr. Falano. No, for me, just 60 seconds. Sure. Government, as I said, will have to look at all the options on the table. One of which is the Lagos State government with Ohando. I've just entered into an agreement with the Chinese company to bring electric buses to Lagos. Some of the buses have arrived. This government, the Buhari regime, this APC regime, in 2020, January 2020, announced that we are going to migrate CNG to CNG, and the central bank earmarked 250 billion naira to encourage companies that were going to promote that migration. So for me, these are the options on ground. Of course, we can say, oh, why can we continue to waste $10 billion according to them? Figures are also questionable. We can then look at the alternatives to PMS so that the poor are no further subjected to excruciating pain. Mr. Falana, so you saying that it is illegal, the hike in the price? Oh, yes. And the implication is that anybody selling above 85 is illegal. Of course. Are you planning to go to court on that? Well, the NSA has given some instructions, but I won't give you the details for now. Mr. Femi Falana, rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.